Hi, I'm Halannah, and I am becoming a doula. A doula is nowadays someone that is basically an assistant during childbirth, but it's a lot more than that. The word doula actually comes from Greek, and it means servant woman, or woman servant, or female servant. And in the same way that they use that word, we as a doula serve the mother during childbirth. And like I said, it's so much more than that because we assist and give advice and we nurture and comfort and we help as much as we can. So a lot of what we do is definitely to serve and help the mother, but there's a lot of other aspects to that. And so for me, I always loved children and babies, and I can think back, and I always remember asking so many questions to my mom or my aunts or just women that were in my life just about their birth stories, and I was always asking questions. And even in high school, I was fascinated with the process of, having a baby and then childbirth and everything afterwards. I was just so intrigued, and I would always rush home to watch a birth story on the Discovery Channel. And so, of course, I got married young and I started having a family right away. And my first pregnancy was great, and my childbirth was excellent. My delivery was great. I had very minimal interventions. If any, really. I was technically induced, but everything was great. I didn't need any pain medication, and so my first birth was really great. And although there was a lot of expectations and a lot of things that maybe didn't go the way I wanted, it was pretty great. And then after I had my daughter, I watched The Business of Being Born, and there was a lot of things that my eyes were just open to, and they just made sense. The things that I was hearing and things that I was seeing, and I was just like, yeah, that makes sense. Those things happened to me, and gosh, I wish I would have known earlier. And at the time, I was actually pregnant with my second, and so I kind of vowed in a way. I was like, oh, I'm going to do things different, and none of that happened. And I ended up having to have an emergency cesarean. And I'm sure if anyone's had that, it's so nerve-wracking, it's so scary and just overwhelming, and there's so many feelings that go into it. And I remember just feeling just so many emotions. But I was just kind of like, what, I'm just going to bounce back. And I wasn't planning on getting pregnant, but I did pretty soon after. And if anyone knows, just getting pregnant soon after a cesarean is kind of scary because there's a lot of risks of not being fully healed. And so I was pretty nervous, but when my doctor was talking to me about whether I wanted to have another cesarean, kind of like that I would agree to have one, and I forgot what it's called, and elective cesarean, that's what it's called, I remembered. And or if I wanted to try and have a VBAC, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have a VBAC, there's no questions about that. And for vanity reasons, I was like, oh, maybe I could get a cesarean and, kind of fix myself. But I definitely wanted a VBAC, and I knew that, and I knew that I could do it. And I researched the crap out of the internet. I looked at videos of other women doing it. I read everything I could. And I did some exercises, probably not as much as I could have or should have. But I did. And I remember right after I had my son that the doctor and the nurse they were both like in shock. They were like, wow, you did so great. Wow, like you had a wonderful VBAC. And it honestly went better than my first birth. And I didn't have to have as much oxytocin. My water broke all by itself, and I progressed really great. I was able to stand and squat and kind of move around a little bit more than I did my first one. with my first, I only sat in my bed. I didn't know to ask. And so with that one, I knew what to ask. I knew what to say. I was like, no, I'm going to stand, I'm going to squat, I'm going to move around. And it really did help. And I remember right after I had my son that the doctor looked at me and he said, wow, you should kind of open up like a consultation office or something and help other women, have VBACs. And I kind of like thought he was joking in a way, but I could tell he was, in a way, like very slightly, he was serious. And I thought, wow, that would be kind of cool. And I had already known a little bit about doulas and midwives and things like that, but I didn't really think that I could be one. At that point I had 3 kids, and I was like, I'm busy and planning on homeschooling soon, and so I was just kind of like, I don't know if I could do that. And sure enough, I had another child, and same thing, great pregnancy, great delivery, and my 4th was actually delivered by a midwife at the hospital that I was at, and it was such a great experience. It was so great. I mean, there were so many things that that could have gone wrong and were hard. It was my longest labor, and but it was great. And I remember at that time I was laying in the bed and I was talking with a nurse who wasn't very nice. And she came in and she told me, she was like, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. We were kind of talking, and I had mentioned, I said, yeah, I would love to become a doula or become a midwife. I would love to do that. Like, that's something that I would love to do eventually. And I remember she kind of scoffed and looked at me and laughed and was like, yeah, like, you can never do that. Like, you're going to have 4 children. You're never going to do that. And I just thought in my mind, wow, like, I kind of thought 2 things. At first I was like, wow, that's kind of mean. And then I was just like, you know what, I'm just going to take that, and I'm just going to kind of let it go out the window. I'm not going to listen to it. And the more I just thought about it, the more I just yearned to do that, to become a doula or a midwife or someone that would help other women. And but sure enough, I had another baby, and I had my son, and he was a great, same thing. He was a very quick, my quickest labor, but I think my longest delivery. He took a while to really come out. And so all my births were completely different. And I think that's something that really helped me to really want to become a doula. And not so much that I feel that, oh, I have all this knowledge and experience and everybody should listen to me, but a lot of it is just that I've been there. I've been in that position, and I would love to help someone else. I mean, I feel like having 5 is a big accomplishment in the childbirth world and just birthing in general. And so for me to be able to help someone else that's maybe in a similar situation, and to just kind of look at them and be like, you know what, I totally get it. It's okay to cry. It's okay to scream. It's okay to not want this happening right now, but to have someone there. And I know that would have helped me a lot too. I had a lot of support, but I would have loved to have one person just dedicated to me. And I think a lot of people would like that too. And so for me, that's why I'm choosing to become a doula, and I'm going to document some more of my journey. I started some of my course, which I'm going excuse me, on a course with the International Doula Institute, IDI, and it's kind of a self-paced course, so it's online, but you do a lot of interactive things, and so I'm going to be posting videos and updating everyone on my journey, and I hope you come along with me. And if you're interested in becoming a doula, go check their video, their website out, and they have like a video on YouTube, an intro thing, so go check them out. But thank you so much for watching. I've lost my voice, I've gotten so excited. But I will see you soon, and come along with me on my doula journey. Bye.